Jesus is real, but you devils taught lies on Christ. So many lies that when we come with the truth, people think that the lies is the truth and that the truth is the lie.
Who changed the truth for God into a lie? In English, Jesus Christ, in Hebrew, is Yahweh Shai. So do or die. The immaculate conception is deception, along with the myth of giving gifts on December 25th. Christmas is Satan's claw, the birth of Nimrod, and not the son of God. To you was kind of odd. On the Passover, Christ was born in the spring. So now we bring the truth about the King of Kings, the black Jesus, and not Caesar Borgias. And the facts can't be changed. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai.
Hebrew Israelites, Kwam Yashala.
It's all about the Most High. It's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about the...
Okay, Shalom Israel.
Shalom.
Welcome to another class with the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We're going to go ahead and get class started. Everybody get the link out, send it out, hit your social media, and we're going to start with questions like we always do. We had a long Sabbath class. I'm not sure. After that 8-hour class, I'm not sure is going to have a lot of questions, but regardless, we're going to answer questions and then go ahead and get class rolling like always. So if you don't know, we are at 8524 South Braeswood, and that's in Houston, Texas, 77071. All right. We also are in San Antonio, Texas, 4219 Centergate, San Antonio 78217. We have classes in Albuquerque. If you want to get classes in Albuquerque, hit us up. My number is going to be on the bottom of the screen. If you want to get a hold of any of these locations, or if y'all have any questions, you can hit me now through text. Afterwards, you can call or text. All right. Once again, we have classes Mondays, Wednesdays from 7 to 10, Fridays from 6 to 9, and then Sabbath morning classes from 10 to 2. Unless it goes a little longer, then we keep rolling with it. Let's see here. Kids class will be, it's on ISBHPK Kids. If you miss it live, you can go on there and check those classes out for the kids. All right. Also, we have our live classes, if you don't know, on ISBHPK. Just ISBHPK. Just Google, YouTube that. We should come up. What else we got here? Oh yeah. Check out, we have one show loaded so far, but the sisters working tirelessly, diligently, effortless to get more classes on our ISBHPK Guatemala. So please check that out. If you got Spanish-speaking brothers and sisters, please send them the link. As a matter of fact, I want you to get the link, put it in there real quick. The ISBHPK Guatemala. And then also put our 5 minutes of wisdom in there too. You guys can check those out if you haven't. We got those in there. Please look out for our cable show, which is going to be here in Houston. We got a new season, and we're going to get that rolling again, and that's on Comcast Channel 17. So that's going to be local here for the people in Houston. Or you could go, if you want to watch that online, it's hmstv.org. We usually take those with the live shows we do here in Houston and put them on YouTube. So you're not going to miss it. But if you want to check it out, you can check those out also. That's going to be coming up in a few months, our new season. So we'll keep y'all intact and tuned with that. Please check out Mashaba on blogtalkradio.com/MASHAHBA. And that's Monday to Fridays from at 9:30 a.m. Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. If you want to get a garment, we're going to also start putting garments. YouTube lets you put like your garments and stuff on the bottom of your YouTube now. So look out for that. We're going to have stuff on YouTube for garments. Brothers and sisters that want to get the t-shirts or whatever you want done, we're going to have that on there. All right. What else? So, once again, my number is 281-707-2737. If you want to get a hold of me, you can hit me up. If you want to make a contribution, all that information is on the bottom of the screen. If you want to do the vow that brothers and sisters do, we try to get $100 a month for the rent, for the school bills. If you want to do that, you feel that in your heart, you can do that also. All right, that information will be on there. So, we're going to open it up with questions. Let me get the link out. There's a few people that I talked to that I know want to get class. Let me get that link out to them. And if nobody got any questions, we'll wait a few minutes.
I have a question.
We'll go into class. All right, let me send this real quick, and then we'll go to your question. Let me get this out here, right here. Okay, what's your question now?
It's in 2nd Esdras, chapter 7, verse 28.
2nd Esdras 7, verse 28.
Through 31.
So, the question is in 2nd Esdras 7, verse 28. All right.
2nd Esdras, chapter 7, verse 28. For my son, Yahushua, shall be revealed with those that be with him.
Mm-hmm.
And they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years. After these years shall my son, Christ, die.
Mm-hmm.
And all men that have life. My question in that portion is, you know, the way it reads, it sounds like how it says all men shall die. Like, what is it really saying in that? Like, because I know it's not all men gonna die.
No, but all men did die, because when Yahushua died, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or what is read that verse again.
After these years shall my son Christ die, mm-hmm. and all men that have life.
Right. So after Christ dies, I was actually reading this the other day too. Go read down.
Verse 30.
Right.
And the world shall be turned into the old silence 7 days.
Right. So when Yahushua dies, why are all men going to feel it? What is going to happen when Yahushua dies?
What, grace is taken from the world, or I mean?
No, because when Yahushua died, he died for Israel, right?
Right. Yeah. It was.
But now you got this time to where what's going to happen after he died? What was the prophecy? If you go to Matthew's, it's, let me see here. Let me find it. It's Matthew's, because he talked about what was going to happen.
What's the siege in Jerusalem, or?
There you go, the siege in Jerusalem.
Okay.
Right? So when he died, Now, you got all these prophecies that are going to come to pass, right? Jerusalem was going to be overthrown, right? We were going to be scattered unto all the ends of the earth, right? These punishments was going to happen to us, right? But there's a scripture that's hitting me right in the brain. Find that one real quick, just for the sake of getting the scripture. I know you know it, but for everybody else. And then man, I want to find this other one. It goes right with what you're asking. It says, dang. Let's get that one first, but this other one tells you about. Let's find that one first. Maybe it's in the same chapter. Okay, go there.
Matthew chapter 24.
24 and start at, let's see here. So this is, read 14.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 14.
Right. Now, remember, this prophecy is after Yahushua died. Okay? He would die, and then all these things were going to come to pass after he died. Go ahead.
And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations.
Right.
And then shall the end come.
Right.
When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation.
Right, but you see how he's dropping it. Because we know what was going to happen first. The abomination of desolation. During the time of Daniel, that was speaking of the temple being overthrown. That was talking about after. So don't get it misconstrued when you see verse 14 and then he jumps to verse 15. Remember, the Bible is written in parables. So this abomination of desolation literally happened, in 70 AD. Okay, go ahead.
Spoken of by Daniel the prophet.
Right.
Stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand.
Right.
16. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains.
Well, now when you read that, it's talking about what?
The siege.
Right, the siege. So Jerusalem was surrounded, 65 BC, 70 AD. General Vespasian and his son Titus went in and overthrew Jerusalem. They didn't let no food come in, nobody leave. So in the siege, this is that Deuteronomy 28 where it says, you shall eat your children. So in the siege, we did eat our children. So going back to Esdras, right? What happened when Yahushua died? Those prophecies went forth, right? Which was death, right? We had to go through all these punishments still, right? Even though, yeah, he died for us, but it wasn't over when he died. John died, You know what I mean? Peter died.
Come.
All the apostles died. Some of them horrible deaths.
Come.
You see that? So that's how the death was going to come, because him coming, speaking the word, it was going to go forth, and all these prophecies still had to happen, which was really a lot of death. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 17. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house.
Right.
18. Neither let him which is in the field return to take his clothes.
Right.
And woe unto them which are with child, and to them which give suck in those days.
Right. So you see, this is all because captivity. If you're running with babies, or if you had to eat that baby, that's the woe. That's the destruction. So there's another scripture that's in my head, man. He said, I was thinking of the one I just found, but it's not that one. I have to look for it, but it goes right with it. Just showing about the death that was going to take place. Oh, man. But go ahead.
Verse 20. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as not since the beginning of this time.
Right, so there you go. So there's another one, man, that I forgot how it's quoted, though. That's why I can't find it. It says about the children mourning. It says Ephratia, and it's along this prophecy about. Dang, I can't think of it. I have to look for it though.
Okay.
I have to look for it, but just showing you that's what it's meaning about the death.
Okay.
Is that when Yahushua died, all these prophecies had to come to pass, which was more death that was going to fall on Israel.
Okay.
Yeah, but the other one, I'll look for it for you, and then I'll give it to you.
Okay.
All right, jump back to Esdras.
2nd Esdras, chapter 7, and verse 30.
Mm-hmm.
And the world shall be turned into the old silence,
Right.
7 days.
Right, so 7 is the number of completion, meaning that, there was so much death during this time. There was silence in the sense of, reading this book I got is the earth didn't have the sons of the Most High rejoicing in the earth. So when you look at the world today, right now, it is in silence. There is no peace, there's no love, it's darkness, it's death, it's fear, it's destruction. That's the silence it's talking about, isn't it? Think of quiet, even like that movie, The Quiet Place, right? In this fearing context. Not in just, it was just silent, but it was what was lacking from the earth. When the wicked rules, what? The people mourn. Right? When the righteous bear rule, the people what?
Rejoice.
Silent. Ain't no rejoicing. It's just pain, suffering, and death. Right? 7, meaning that until the time fulfilled. Right? To this complete time that he gave us. Go ahead.
Like as in the former judgments.
Right?
So that no man.
You see that there though? Like as in the former judgments.
Yeah.
What were the former judgments? When we sinned, right, in these different captivities, there was no rejoicing. There was no praising the Most High. There was affliction, captivity, and punishment. Silence. Go ahead.
So that no man shall remain.
Right.
31. And after 7 days, the world.
Remember, we went over this the other day. Excuse me. 7 is just a number of completion. So 7 meaning that after this complete time that the Most High allotted, we know 450 years, he tells us. 400 years, right? Scriptures break it down, 1,203 score days, right? He says, he comes back and says 3.5 years. So, I mean, in reality, no man knows, right? But we can know this time, this 400 years when that's up, right? So don't get twisted or caught up on 7. 7 is just the number of completion, right?
Okay.
Go ahead.
That yet awaketh not shall be raised up, and that shall...
Who doesn't awake? Who hasn't awaked? What happened when the prophecies went forth? Jerusalem was overthrown. Judah was scattered, right? The remnant of Israel that was with Judah was scattered. Israel was over here trying to run from the punishment of the Most High. So the Most High sent the Spaniards to come remind us that there is no running, right? So what remnant? What remnant has to be taught? Israel, right? The remnant that was scattered through the 4 corners of the earth. Go ahead.
And that shall die, that is corrupt.
Right. Now it's getting into the renewing, which you understand, right? Right. So after the Most High is going to raise us up, bring Israel back, the enlightened ones, the chosen, the 144,000, and then all the other stuff is going to start dissipating.
Okay. So just to make sure that I understand, the death, all men dying, it was just the death that was coming after Yahushua died.
Yeah. Because we know all men didn't die.
Right.
Right. But who did die? The chosen. Right.
A whole lot of people.
Yeah, I was, once again, it's in the car right now, but, and this is the reality of it, is that it's been, brother, a long time since Israel been in captivity. You're talking about, this last maybe 400 years, but we've been in captivity and punished for centuries. Centuries. Think about the Spanish Inquisition. Think about before the Spanish Inquisition. Think about before that. Go back in the ancient times. How many captivities have we been in over and over and over and over again? And when we were thought to hide amongst the nations were bringing us out and killing us and destroying us. So it was death. It's been a long time. That book tells you 12 centuries. Centuries. Which is true though. Think about it historically. When's the last time that we've been in captivity? I mean that we haven't been in captivity. What? Solomon. That's, I don't got my date on that, but what, 700 BC? Think about how long we've been slaves and bloodshed. So, yeah, that's what it's speaking of. Okay. All right. So, was that it?
That's it.
Okay. All right. Do we got anybody online?
Yes, sir.
What we got?
We have, can a divorced Israelite get remarried? My wife divorced me.
Yeah. A divorced Israelite can get remarried. Of course. First of all, for a man, it was different than a woman. So you always had the right to get another woman to remarry. You always had that right. So, I mean, it's real simple. But yeah, go to we touched on this a little bit the other day. He got me. Like we always are told the opposite, right? Like could you divorce? remarry, I mean, for a man, go to Corinthians. Go to Corinthians real quick. It's 7, 1 Corinthians 7. And 10.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 10.
Go ahead.
And unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord.
Right.
Let not the wife depart from her husband.
Mm-hmm.
But and if she depart, let her remain unmarried.
So, just pointing out that the woman was supposed to be unmarried, right? That technically that's what was supposed to happen. Go ahead.
Or be reconciled to her husband.
Right. So what this Paul was doing was just saying, all the time you can't just cut off these relationships. You got to work it out. And if you guys need a break, then take a break. But go back and deal with your husband. Deal with your wife. Don't just cut her off. And yeah, I don't know your whole situation, but if it's already done and you're separated and there's no working it out, you know, once again, we touched on this the other day, you always have the option as a man to get another wife. The Most High never stopped the man from getting another wife, long as he was going to fulfill his duty as a husband. But, just reiterating that. Go ahead.
And let not the husband put away his wife.
Right.
But to the rest speak I.
Right, meaning that if you can avoid that, if it's not possible for y'all, I mean, if it's a possibility that you guys can work it out, work it out. If not, it's going to tell us. Go ahead.
Not the Most High.
Right.
If any brother hath a wife that believeth not,
right,
and she be pleased to dwell with him,
right,
let him not put her away.
You see that? So you get in these relationships to where there is an agreement and an understanding that the wife is going to be humble. She's going to listen. She's going to hear, and she's not going to separate. Right? So if you guys come to this understanding, well, then don't separate. Go ahead.
Verse 13.
Right.
And the woman which hath an husband but that believeth not,
right,
and if he be pleased to dwell with her, let her not leave him.
Right. Now, I'm going to say this. This is Paul giving us understanding and wisdom on how to deal with these situations. Reality in this time, I haven't seen this. I haven't seen a woman that is going to say, you know what, I'm not going to celebrate Christmas and Halloween, Thanksgiving. I'm just going to do that on the side. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible. But in this time, it's usually like, nah, I'm going to do what I want to do. Either you deal with it or leave. It's like that a lot. Like, nah, you going to make me that pork sandwich. You get that a lot. Sisters, well, my husband's not in the truth, and he still wants me to cook him pork. Right? You don't get this situation a lot. But if you are in that situation, then work it out. That's what Paul's saying. Go ahead.
Verse 14. For the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife.
Go ahead.
And the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband.
Go ahead.
Elsewhere your children unclean.
Right.
But now.
So what that's telling you is this, that if you work it out and you guys are civilized enough to deal with each other, and that unbelieving person can at some point humble themselves to you being a man or a woman in Christ, then what that does is sanctifies the kids, because you need the parents there. Both parents need to be there, man. You got to really understand what happens when you divide these houses. So that's what he's saying. Work it out. But I'm going to get to the point and somewhat answer your question also. Go ahead.
Verse 14, last precept.
Uh-huh.
But now are they holy?
Right. The kids. The kids, now you got a pure situation where the parents are still there doing their duty as parents. Go ahead.
Verse 15. But if the unbelieving depart,
right,
let him depart.
Right.
A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases.
Right. So, like I said, answering your question somewhat, because really it was already known that if a man wanted to get another wife, it was never a problem. It's in the law. If he wanted to remarry, he can always remarry. It's never been a problem with the man. So, but this is giving you a little understanding too, to show you if she leaves or he leaves, nobody's in bondage. You can't force anybody to stay with you. So you're free to go do what you're free to remarry. You're not in bondage under that. You know, you can't make people love you and stay with you and submit. It don't work like that. So read that part again.
Verse 15.
I mean, I'm sure y'all understand that, right?
Come on.
Yeah, go ahead.
But if the unbelieving depart,
right,
let him depart. A brother or a sister is not under bondage in such cases.
Right. So once again, you're not under bondage because they left you. Now you gotta be running after them, and you gotta be telling them, no, we belong together. The scriptures say you're not in bondage under that. Let them go. Do what you have to do, you know, and this time make the right choices when it's your choice to choose a wife now. So other than that, yeah, you've always had the opportunity to remarry, to get another wife. It's the most I said it was okay. I mean, tell me if that answers your question. You know, because I'm thinking of other scriptures, but the other scriptures are like this. It's talking about it. It's alluding to it, because it was always our custom that a man, if he wanted to marry another woman, that was never a problem. So you can't, when adultery, you got to understand, adultery was a man, and we touched on this Sabbath class, sleeping with another man's wife. So you always had the option to. So let me know if that gives you some understanding on that. Maybe if not, then I can go about it another way. All right. What else we got on there?
In Matthew 26 and 13.
Go ahead.
Is this a commandment we need to be doing on the streets?
Matthew 26:13. Go ahead and read it.
Matthew chapter 26 and verse 13.
Yeah.
Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done, be told for a memorial of her.
So, right, this is the, so she anointed Yahweh Shai. But that is being done. You know, and it ain't just on the corners. It's being done in the Word. It's being done in everything we do. So, I mean, you can get real technical about it, but it is being done. You know, every time we speak and every time, I mean, we can read up if y'all not familiar with the story. Go up to 26:6 real quick.
Matthew chapter 26 and verse 6.
For y'all that are not familiar with the story, go ahead.
Now when Yahushua was in Bethlehem, in the house of Simon the leper, then came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head, and he sat at meat. Verse 8.
Yeah.
But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, To what purpose is this waste? 9. For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor.
Right. So, you know, it was because the, you know, Israel, man, sometimes you ain't thinking. Sometimes you ain't being spiritual and looking. So they're thinking about making money instead of thinking about, wait a minute, I have Yahweh Shai with me. Right? But this woman, she seen that, she knew that in her heart, and she was thinking, anything I can do to please Yahweh Shai, I'll do. But they're like, no, we could have made some money, gave this to the poor, which is not wrong, but at the same time, your timing is off. You're anointing the Son of God, and all you can say is, let's make money. Go ahead.
Verse 10.
Then
when Yahweh Shai stood up, he said unto them,
right.
Why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me.
Right.
For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always.
Right, because he was going to die. Go ahead.
For in that she hath poured this anointment on my body.
Right, so it was a spiritual thing too. She was anointing him and preparing him for this burial, for this sacrifice he was going to give, which was his body. Right, so it was something going on in the spirit here that they weren't picking up. So Christ, Yahweh Shai, had to check them, correct them. Go ahead.
She did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done, be told for a memorial of her.
And so you see it is being done. It's being done because it's in the scriptures. It's being done because it's now written. So every time it comes up, every time you read the Bible, it's known what this woman did. So, you know, not you don't got to go out there every time and point this out. He's not saying that. He's saying that it is written that this woman, where it says, for verily I say unto you, whatsoever the gospel shall be preached. Where's the gospel preached at? We're preaching the gospel now. So it ain't, we're talking about it now. It don't have to just be out there when you're in the street. Right? It don't have to just be at a specific time. It's talked about right now. So yeah, you're looking into it too deep. It's being told, it's being shown, and this woman's memorial is written. So so that's it on it. What else?
This is a question prior to this question. She said, so if your husband sleeps with another man's wife, the woman can leave and remarry?
So say the question again.
She said, so if your husband sleeps with another man's wife,
if your husband sleeps with another man's wife,
the woman can leave and remarry?
No. That's like saying, because I'm with my wife, and I go sin, that she can leave me because I sin. Does that make sense? Why?
Because, I mean, that's just not, it's not logical, because we all sin, we all make mistakes.
Right, we all sin, we make mistakes. So, do you supposed to go sin because I sin? No. So, no, your husband's going to be corrected. Your husband should be corrected. And if he ain't corrected by man, then the Most High is going to correct him. Whatever your husband does. So no, you can't just leave him because he sinned. He messed up. You know, you got to understand, the only time you can leave your husband is if your husband is abusive, he's trying to kill you, hurt you, harm you, or try to get you to do wickedness. You see that? If he's trying to force it on you and he's not giving you an option, like, no, we're going to celebrate, you're going to celebrate this Christmas, and like basically a coat style, tie you down, then you can leave him. Because why? You can't depart unless it be for fornication. So otherwise, if he messes up, scriptures say, render not evil for evil, nor railing for railing. So no, because someone does sin, you can't be like, well, because you sin, I get to go sin. That's not how it works. You can't leave your husband just because he messes up. He got to work that out with the Most High. He got to work that out with, if he's amongst men of the scriptures, he's going to be corrected. But even in that, let's say if the brother's amongst us, right? We get a brother in here, he go commit adultery. Do we say, oh, okay, now your wife can leave you? No, that don't make sense. You can only leave your husband when if he's doing something wicked towards you or making you, force you doing wicked. It's common sense. Like, when do you leave the school? If somebody's making you do something you don't want to do and forcing you, right? Now I'm talking about really forcing you. Like, you gonna do this. Then there's a problem. Nobody should be forcing you. That's why we said it. Like, if you're being forced through the verbal chastisement, there's a problem. You're supposed to be doing it free willing from your heart. So, no, you can't leave him. Okay, so let's touch on a few of those real quick. Go to, I think it's Thessalonians. Real quick. Just to put things in perspective. Go to 1 Thessalonians 5:15. Let's go there.
First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 15.
Then get 1 Peter 3:9. And then we'll go to Romans. Go ahead, read that.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 15.
Go ahead.
See that none render evil for evil.
So your logic behind that is not right. That's not scripture. You know what I mean? You can't just, when somebody's doing wickedness, you can't offer their, it's like here. If somebody in here go and do wickedness, you don't just be like, oh, the truth is wicked. We're going to stop doing the truth because this person did evil. No, you correct that brother, that sister. Sometimes they might get suspended. Depends on what it is. You know, but there has to be some correction going on. And you correct them and point out that's wrong. But you don't just be like, you know what? Oh, I'm done. No more. We don't get to work no more. We don't get to do righteous no more because this individual. No, your salvation is contingent on what you do for the Most High, not with your husband. It don't work like that. We're doing this for Yahweh Shai, not for your husband, your wife, for your kids. So you got to understand, you can't render evil for evil. Go ahead.
But ever follow that which is good, both among yourselves and to all men.
There you go. You see that? You're supposed to follow what is good. So based on that is, you cannot just leave your husband. Go to the next one. Go
1
to
Peter
the next.
chapter 3 and verse 9.
1 Peter 3 and 9. Go ahead.
Not rendering evil for evil.
Right.
Or railing for railing.
Right.
But counterwise blessing.
Right. But counterwise blessing. Go ahead.
Knowing that ye are there unto go.
You see that? See, you're called to, you're going to be around people that make mistakes. Your husband's going to make mistakes. Your wife is going to make mistakes. If we thought like that, then there'd be separation just for anything, any reason. So no, you can't separate from him. The law tells you when the only time you can separate from your husband. Finish that.
That ye should inherit a blessing.
Right. See, the blessing is you following the law. You following the scriptures. Not because somebody's around me and they do wickedness and then you do wickedness because they do wickedness. No, it don't work like that. All right, jump from there. Go over to Romans. Romans. Hold on 1 second. I thought it was 10, right? Is it 7? Yep. Yes, sir. Right on point. Romans 7 and 1.
Romans chapter 7 and verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law,
Right.
how that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
Go ahead.
For the woman which hath an husband is bound to the law, bound by the law to her husband,
Right.
so long as he liveth.
So long as he lived. So, go ahead.
But if the husband be dead,
Right.
she is loose from the law of her husband.
Go ahead.
So then, if, while her husband liveth, she be married to another man,
Uh-huh.
she shall be called an adulteress.
There you go. So now Christ came back and said what? He added to that what? Except it be for fornication. Right? So we know fornication is if your husband is bringing in demons, like he comes in your house, puts down a 5-point star, start putting candles in the middle, cutting himself. Yes, you could be like, yeah, that's a lie. He's like, listen, we're gonna pray to the devil. You know what? You gonna celebrate this Christmas. You gonna eat pork. That you don't have to be with that. You don't have to deal with that. So, otherwise, mistakes, issues, problems, y'all gotta work through that. Him sinning, him messing up, that ain't got nothing to do with you, unless it, like I said, unless it affects you. So no, you don't got the right just to leave your husband for that. Okay? Let's go there. The other one. Except it be for fornication. What is that? Matthew 5, right? Let's go there. And we should know the common sense of this, man. The common sense of it is this. That, yeah, if it's for fornication, but once again, if your husband is beating you, doing something wicked to you, making you do wickedness, yes. That's common sense. No, Christ said you're not in bondage to wickedness, man. We were made free. So 5 and
27?
Yeah, is it? No, 5 and 32.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 32.
Yeah.
But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causeth her to commit adultery.
Right.
And whosoever shall marry her, that is divorced, committeth adultery.
Right. Now I know y'all saying, well, that's the man and the woman. Right? The man only can do that. Technically, the law is for a woman to deal with her man till he's dead, right? But why did Paul come back and say about these situations of marriage that the unbelieving wife and the unbelieving husband? Why? Why?
Because there's different circumstances that happen.
You see that? There's different circumstance. So now if you got a husband that's trying to get you to fornicate, this doesn't apply to you? Yeah, it applies to you. If he's trying to get you to do wickedness, be wicked, that's when you can leave. If he's trying to have you to serve other gods, that's when you can leave. He can't be like, no, you're going to be... I'm going to try to use the Bible to do wickedness. Yo, you my wife. Hit this crack pipe. The scripture says you have to obey me till you dead. It don't work like that. Use the common sense. The common sense is that the scriptures, your God is the Most High. If your man is trying to take you from the Most High, anybody trying to take you from the Most High, you can separate yourself from them. So that's the common sense of this, that you got to understand that if he's trying to commit, if he's trying to get you to commit fornication, right, and that spiritual fornication, or, you know, even have you in threesomes, have you doing what wicked things, nah, you ain't got to deal with that. That's wicked. That's wicked and off. So, go ahead, finish.
I finished 32.
You finished it? Okay. All right, so hopefully that helps out. Hopefully that helps out, making the sense of what y'all asking. Go ahead. What else we got?
What is sleep paralysis? Like, should I be worried? Sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis. I guess when you can't move.
It depends. The only reason I'm going to entertain this one is because is there demons holding you down, or you just literally can't move? There's a difference, because sometimes you just can't move physically. And then sometimes you got a black person, a tall black silhouette over you, holding you down. So which one is it? And that's why the only reason I'm entertaining this question, because when it comes to paralysis, you might have something wrong, like, you know, certain people when they sleep, they got to sleep on their stomach because they breathing wrong, and they start doing all that and feel like they're gonna die. That's something physically with your body. So yeah, there's a physical thing that can happen, that your eating habits, or something is wrong with you, with your nervous system, that you probably lock up. But there's also to where demons will come in, and this is that it ain't got nothing to do with your body. It got something to do with the spirit actually coming in, you seeing it, and it holding you down and trying to choke you out. That's a whole different thing. So which one is it? Because I've had demons. I don't have sleep paralysis. I've had demons come in, literally just try to hold me down and fight me, and break my spirit. But you know, they're gone. It was for a moment. You pray, you fight them, you show them that you're not going to give in, and they're gone. So it's a difference. So you got to know how to determine the difference between something physically that's wrong with you, and then there's spirits that coming in your house doing other things. So we'll wait for their response. What else?
My sister, I'm driving to Alaska on Thursday. En route, I'll be sleeping at a few so-called Indian reservations. Do you have any flyers that I can hand out?
Yeah, send us your email. Send us your email, and we'll send you some flyers you can send out. Yeah. What else we got?
Shalam, if your name starts with a J, how do you find your Hebrew name?
I'm lost. If your name starts with a J? I'm really not understanding that question.
I think she means, like, if her name's Justine, and you know how she says that Jesus is actually starts with a Y, like Yahushua, it's not Jesus with a J.
Oh, once again, when dealing with, the first thing we tell brothers and sisters when they learn Hebrew is, don't come to Hebrew with an English mind. Why? Because English is not Hebrew. Hebrew is not English. So if you want a Hebrew name, well, then do how the Hebrews do and ask yourself, what is your character? What is your circumstance in life? And get a Hebrew name off of that. We didn't just, you know what I mean? What you gonna name her? Champagne? We didn't do that. That's the white man. You know what I mean? What you gonna name her? Oh, it's blue outside. Let's name her Blue Ivy. That's, nah. We actually name, when you go through the Bible, we name our children off of circumstance. Right? Jacob, Isaac, Sarah. Isaac, right? Sarah laughed, right? And they named their baby what? Isaac, which means laughter, right? Jacob means to supplant, because Jacob was going to get his birthright by supplanting, by taking advantage of circumstance, right? Then when the Most High no longer wanted him just to be the guy or the person to get advantage of things, because that's Israel, that's Jake, right? We just want to take advantage. But when you become a prince of power, then you're known as an Israelite. So if you go through all these names, you find out that we were named certain things, circumstance, certain things in life. It was meaningful. It wasn't just a name out of oblivion. So I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with looking what your name means in English and translating that into Hebrew. There's nothing wrong with that. But try to get a Hebrew name with substance, right? It shouldn't be like we did in the world. I tell you about the brother that calls himself Blaze. His name is Lahab. Why did you get Lahab? Because you want to run fast? Something to identify with your spirit? Was it something spiritual, or was it just what? It sounded hard. It sounded cool. Who are you? Lahab, the Blaze. You see that? So, you got, there's many Harags in the truth. You got Harag Malak, King Killer. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. There's some strong brothers with that name. All I'm saying is, why'd you name it? Why'd you pick it? Because you an ex-killer? Or you going to be a killer for the Most High in Christ? Like substance. Think that's how we name. Go through the Bible. You see, we didn't just pick. We didn't just do it because like we was out there. What's your name? Lil Tunchi. What does that mean? I don't know. That's what we do. Like, well, who are you now? Lil Wayne? Then who's your other alter ego? Lil Tunchi? What's your other name? Lil Weezy? Right? Right? What do we call him? Little dirtbag. No, but seriously, pick a name with substance. So what's her name?
It says Little Wonder Dixon. I think that's the 11-year-old.
Huh?
11-year-old.
Oh, that's the little young girl.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is her asking. Well, your mama got to name you. Your mama and your daddy have to name you. You're at this point in age, you don't get to choose your own name. You let your parents name you. So let them do that. I mean, I'm supposing you're not on here by yourself. You know what I mean? Just learning the truth by yourself. I'm supposing that you got parents with you right now. So, let your parents name you. Because they're going to look at it and they're going to say, wait a minute. Well, this is your character. This is your spirit. In a Hebrew Israelite mind. All right, what else?
Khan, is the Messiah coming back on chariots or horses?
The Messiah is coming back with chariots, but it said he's coming back on a horse. But he said he's coming back with the chariots of the Most High. But the angels, they rode in these chariots. But when you go to Revelations 19 and 11, it tells you he's coming back on a white horse. So imagine that. You got this black man on a big white horse with thousands of UFOs around him. Right? So read that, Revelations 19 and 11.
Revelations chapter 19, verse 11.
Go ahead.
And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
Right.
And in righteousness he doeth judge and make war.
Right.
His eyes were as a flame of fire,
Mm-hmm.
and on his head were many crowns.
Right.
And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself.
Right. Go ahead.
And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood.
Go ahead.
And his name is called the Word of the Most High.
Talking about Christ. Hamashiach, who they ignorantly call Christ. Go ahead.
Verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And the armies which were in heaven followed him.
The what?
And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses.
Go ahead.
Clothed in fine linen.
So here's telling you they were on white horses. So there's other scriptures that tell you he's coming back with the chariots. So obviously we got a mixture here. You're going to have some angels on horses, some angels in chariots. Yahushua is going to be on a horse. Regardless, it's going to be fierce, bloody, right? And powerful. So, yeah. You know, you got to understand this, that these prophecies, these visions are reminding us what's going to happen. So, according to what it's saying is that he came on a horse, the angels were on a horse, but at the same time, the angels are in UFOs, what you call UFOs. They can come anyway. So you got to see that this is vision. This is him telling us what's going to happen. It doesn't mean everyone down to the last drop was going to just come on horses. It doesn't mean that he wasn't going to come on a horse and switch to a chariot. It's just telling you that how Christ was going to come in his power and you were going to see him. What you got? You got something else?
Me?
Yeah.
I had a question.
Yeah.
On like in 2nd Esdras.
Yeah.
The 13th, where it talks about like in verse 15 here it says.
Go ahead.
And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword.
Uh-huh.
That with it he should smite the nations. That says go out of his mouth.
Right. That's twofold though. See, the sharp sword represented the law, right? Because it's going to correct the nations, but also it's also talking about the power that coming out of him. The other scripture tells you horns came out of his hand. When you look at those, when you look at that definition of horn, it meant beams. So, Khan, it says what it says. He's going to be throwing fire out of his hands, right? You see that? And out of his mouth. So, destruction. I mean, let's deal with this right, y'all. Let's think about this. You're talking about an angelic being. Think about it. And Christ in his angelic power. You think he's just going to have an actual sword in his hand, chopping and cutting? No. You're talking about the black Superman coming back. That's why I keep trying to tell you, everything they took from these Marvel comic books was from the Bible. Everything, whether they shot powers out of their hands, out of their mouth, whether they disappeared. It said the angels, they move like lightning, right? They took that all from there. So when you see it, it's like, well, really? He's going to shoot power out of his mouth? He's going to be destroying. Yeah.
I used to think that was kind of like a parable, but I mean, if you think about it, Samson's parents, when the angel jumped in the fire and he just burst it up, so I'm like, if he could do it, you know.
Yeah, how much shot? And
that's
how you got to judge it, because when you go through the angels, when you go through what the angels were going to do in Joel, when it says they shall move like lightning, they shall move as sparks in the midst of stubble, right? Now just imagine that. You're thinking the angels are going to come they're going to be like a regular military. But you don't see like what's that one, Age of Ultron, where you got these dang robots jumping, going into the houses, going into people. Just think about all the worst movies you've seen. It's going to be so much more than we imagine. The scriptures say, watch, go to Wisdom of Solomon, what is it, 2? I was actually meditating on this the other day. Go to Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon. Where is it at, man? It's Wisdom of Solomon 2. Man, it says the strangeness. Yeah, it's in 2, right? Thought it was in 2. Hold on. Oh, it's in 5? Oh, yeah. The water. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1 and 2.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him.
Right. So if y'all listening, somebody asked a question on your question. So yeah, Christ is going to come back on horses, but also there's going to be chariots with him. There's going to be angels with him. To get that out the way. But he asked a question on your question about the fire breathing in Esdras, or the two-edged sword coming out of his mouth. But read on.
And made no account of his labor.
Yeah, because remember, nobody's making an account of our labors. Nah, not as a nation, as how we build America, as our Issachar brothers are still working, building America, how we're still making America rich, right? Nobody's taking the account of that. But then also, nobody's taking your account of your labors as a righteous man. They're not looking at it and saying, oh yeah, this man is a godly man. He's doing the work of the Most High. She's a godly sister. Look at how much work she's doing. Nobody's taking account of that. Only the Most High. Go ahead.
Verse 2. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
Yeah, read.
And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
Look at the word it used. Strange. What's going to be strange about it? That you're going to get angels that can do anything they want to do. You can get them transforming into creatures. We're constantly thinking like it's just going to be men coming down. These angels are going to be fierce. They can look like anything. Now, if you were an angel, would you just come down as a man? Hell no, I'll come down as Godzilla just to scare the hell out of you. Right? You can be changing into anything, huh? So when you think of strangeness of their salvation, this is not going to be a regular. The scripture says it's going to be so far much more than we look for, right? Then it also says, it shall no longer be said, the children of Israel were brought out of the land of Egypt, but out of the land of the north. Ask yourself, what is it? Y'all got to sit and meditate on these scriptures. What is it that is going to be so more magical and different and powerful of what he did from Egypt to here? Now, you got the Red Sea party and us walking on land. You got all the pestilence and all these things happening, right? Now, when you look at that, and you look at a good movie that displays that, and you can see the majesty of the Most High, and you're like, wow, it's amazing, right? When you see the sea parting, and it says, like the scriptures, it stood up like a wall, right? Not like they did in the last movie, where the wind came and it just moved the water. No. Like it says, it stood up like a wall. Now, think about that. That was strange. What's going to be more strange now? We're all scattered through the four corners of the earth. We're not in one land. How are you going to do that? How are you going to protect us? Right? Then the destruction. So you guys got to think that you got to see how it's not going to be anything regular to what we're thinking. It's going to be all the worst, scariest movies on earth. For your heart to melt and your knees to be weak as water, to where the whole earth will bow at one time. It's going to be something fierce, scary, death, and destruction. For his vesture to be dipped in blood, they're not just going to come as guys like us. You know what I mean? They're going to come down, man, with fierce looks, faces, power, right? From all kinds. Yeah.
No, I was just wondering because I was thinking, well, is Christ kind of going with the times? Because like this is a technology age, and
right?
so
He's got to.
The sea won't really get us, and plus we're always trying to advance and try to find more and more strange stuff that we can discover.
Right.
You know, so it would have to be way beyond what we have discovered when you come.
Yeah. Yeah. Think about it. What is going to be so great about it? If they ain't got missiles lining up at Yahushua, nukes, and then you blow the missiles up, and then everybody's thinking like, okay, it's over, and then Yahushua and the angels is coming right through that, moving like sparks. One of my favorite superheroes is Flash. But, because when you think of the scripture, it's like, look how fast, you're thinking like, oh, one angel is sitting over here, he's gutting one person, right? But imagine that angel, one angel, killing 1,000 people. We don't look at it like that. We just like, you know, they're coming down on all white, you know, holy and righteous. Nah, it's going to be bloodshed. So it's going to be something strange, and it's not far-fetched for Yahushua, because in Esdras it tells us what? Yeah, go back to finish that, and then we'll go back to Esdras.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
And they repenting and groaning for anguish.
Yeah, see, what's gonna get the whole world, the wicked, to deep repenting and groaning, crying. It's gonna be something fearful. It says, that's why it says, woe to you that desire the day of the Lord. What day shall it be for you? For the day of the Lord is darkness. Right? So, just for him not to do it, and when the sun, I'm not even going to let the sun be out. I'm going to make this like the most scariest movie you ever seen. I'm going to cover the sky with millions of angels. And then that's scary as it is. I told you about the dream I had, right? I had a dream. Now, I don't know if they were coming or leaving. That's what scared me in the damn dream. Is that my heart was like, I woke up sweating. The whole sky was black, like Yahweh, like the scripture said. It was all black, and it was just silence, and all you heard was and I'm talking about from, you can look up, and in the horizon it was none but just angels coming. I ain't never, bro, it was a dream. But I woke up from that dream, I felt like I was going to have a heart attack. Now, that's why I said, think on it. Think on it. There's another scripture that says, let me find it. Let me find it for y'all. Y'all need this in your arsenal, just on this subject. Let me find it for you. Go to y'all heard this one before. Go to Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 5 and 11.
Second Corinthians chapter 5, verse 11.
Yeah.
Knowing therefore the terror of the Most High, we persuade men.
Right.
But we are made manifest unto the Most High.
Right. So, knowing therefore the terror of the Lord. Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we shall persuade men. Now go to Isaiah 33, verse 18. Isaiah 33, verse 18.
Come.
Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 18.
Go ahead.
Thine heart shall meditate terror.
Right. Now, that's us. Let's think about it. Imagine what Yahushua is going to do. If our heart is going to meditate terror, and we know he's the king of terrors, because we got to get that one too. He's the king of terrors. What is terror? Does it sound like a good suspenseful movie, or does it sound like some does it sound like something that is really horrifying? So you know, just going back to your question, you got to see that it's going to be so far much more than just him coming back and just doing a few slices here and there. It's going to be power. It's going to be beams. It's going to be fire. It's going to be destruction. It's going to be angels and whatever powers they have and they want to use. So, you know, that's why you can't think it's strange. You can't think strange, and you can sit back and just imagine, why is it going to be so terrible? So, I mean, you get that though, right? John? Yeah. Just adding those little precepts in there, man, to your arsenal. Because, you know, that way when we look at these scriptures, yeah, he's coming for the sword. He's coming with the rod of correction, but to what level? You know, what level is that first butt whooping going to be? All right. So what else we got on it? What else we got on there? Somebody was going to come back?
Yeah, actually, the 11-year-old's mom is here.
Uh-huh.
She said, no, she's not on here by herself. She's with her mom and dad. I wrote earlier, gave him a shout out. So she gave a shout out early in the class.
Okay, all right.
So that's it. And questions. Is it a sin to take things from the job, paper supplies, etc., being that it's ours anyway, / reparation?
Is it a sin to take something from the job? That's a real good one right there. That's a real good one. You know, I'm going to answer this one. I'm going to answer this one very politically correct for all the young minds, so the young brothers and sisters don't go astray and start doing foolishness. So go to Corinthians. To answer you straight out, it's not a sin. It's not a sin. But you got to keep in mind, you got to use wisdom. You got to use your head. Nothing's worth your job. You know what I mean? Nothing's worth you know, a few, the iPad you can slide out with, or the toilet paper that you re-up your house with. It's all good, but you got to use wisdom. 1 Corinthians 7:31, then we're going to go to Matthew's.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 31.
Right.
And they that use this world.
And they that what?
Use this world.
Read it again.
And they that use this world.
Go ahead.
Not as abusing it.
Yeah, you gotta use it, and there's a line you don't cross. There's a thin line. Stay on that line. Obey the powers that be. Pay your taxes, right? But if I went to the grocery store, like for instance, don't believe the devil, man. And I'm going to say this right, because the devil try to make you seem like every time you try to get over, you're wrong. The nation's been getting over and still get over. So I'm going to say this clearly. You don't supposed to be going out there robbing nobody, sticking anybody up. But you know, if you go to the grocery store and they forget to run a few things on your grocery list, you don't got to be Mr. Over-Righteous and be like, oh, wait a minute, you forgot. Just take that. It's a blessing. At the same time, are you going in there and shoplifting? No. So I'm being very careful to the spirit of make certain things the way you can take the advantage, like Jacob, but that don't mean taking the advantage is what? Credit card fraud. You know what I mean? You robbing, you know, your boss is like, yeah, you know, here, I need you to take this money in, you skimming money off top. You know, I gotta say it like this because people don't get it. They don't understand that use the world, take advantage, but don't be a criminal. You know, and then don't feel guilty. Like, I went the other day, and the lady, she actually told the lady, oh, you didn't get the Pampers on there. She nodded at her. She said, like that, twice, like, I'm doing this for you. Are you going to shut the hell up and go? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, the Spirit just all of a sudden said, hey, listen, I'm going to open this for you. Man, I just saved $40. You know what I mean? On some Pampers. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm going to tell you this. Everybody, whoever in the world that thinks there's something wrong with that, you are a liar. You are a liar. Because somewhere in your life, the opportunity was given for you to take the advantage of that. And yeah, we know the white man, we know America, we know these nations. They come over here, rape, rob, murder, steal, pillage, steal everything. And then when you want to get away with the 5 cent out the little
take one, leave one.
Yeah, the little take one, leave one jar. They look at you like you a damn criminal and like you stole the earth. So no, don't feel guilty for if you have the opportunity to get the advantage. But I'm going to say it again, that doesn't mean that if the advantage is there and the credit card scams are there, that's not the advantage. You're gonna be a criminal, you're gonna be doing something that's gonna get you caught up. You don't want to do that. So that's how I'm answering this question. Go ahead, read it again.
1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 31.
Uh-huh.
And they that use this world, not as abusing it.
Right.
For the fashion of this world passeth away.
So use the world. Take the advantage. Get as much as you can out of this system. Because America has stole everything from you. Everything. And they never pay you what you are worth. Never pay you what you're worth. That's why they make billions and you can barely make it to the next day. So don't feel guilty. Right? Go there, Matthew 10 and 16. Matthew.'s 10 and 16.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 16.
Go ahead.
Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves.
Now, listen. Everybody has to understand. The righteous are the sheep. And where are we at? In the midst of what?
Wolves.
In the midst of wolves. So you know what that means? That, listen, this kingdom, they will consume, they will tear, they will rip, they will break you down. They'll try to take everything good from you. And then when you try to get the advantage, you know what I mean? You're hardworking, right? You pay your taxes, right? But then when you try to go get some stamps, they make you feel like, oh, like, you know how many Americans need stamps to get to the next day? But that's how they do with our people. Oh, there you go again, wasting away on this, you know, you're just a waste of society. You stole everything damn from me. Now, when I try to get a little help, you want to ridicule me and break me down? Nah, don't let them do that to you. Don't let them never do that to you. Take the advantage when you can. If it's especially if it's lawful. If it's in the law, ride that line. Ride it till the wheels fall off. But just stay on that line. Because once you go over, then it's like credit card fraud, check fraud. You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be robbing and stealing and thieving and all that stuff. Yeah.
So when Ruth and Naomi were allowed to glean the fields, is that something like the same thing, or would it be coming by bread without money? You know, I mean, is that the same thing?
Well, when they were allowed to glean the fields, that's lawful though.
That's what I'm asking. Is that similar to what you're saying? That, you know, they had the permission to do it.
I'm saying
Different.
when you have the opportunity and it's there for you, and you're not going to be cast down, shot in the back of the head with a taser, and killed or brought up on charges, take the advantage. You got to take the advantage of the opportunity. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like my last job. You know, people would take tools.
Yeah.
They take tools home, and everyone was doing it from management on down.
Right.
Yeah, and you know, like, hey, shit, we're just gonna order some more. There's no limit on it, and it's not something that we're gonna get fired for.
Right.
If
there you go.
If you got caught with tools, like, oh well, shoot, I was gonna do something at home. Oh, no worries.
There you go.
Yeah. So, and brothers was keeping tools.
They were keeping the tools. There it is. You know, my brother works for the Comcast, right? Mm-hmm. Well then, you know, oh, you need rewiring. Let me rewire your stuff. You don't call and be like, hey, is it cool if I, come on. Listen, man, we ain't done. We're not done. So, y'all know what I mean. You know, but I'm being very careful because we don't want brothers and sisters out there shoplifting and stealing and doing things that is going to get them arrested and brought up on charges and criminal. You know, because a lot of our people don't got no turn-off switch.
And no discretion.
They don't got no discretion. So, you know, like I said, this is how I'm answering this question biblically. All right, so what else we got on there?
The sister said you answered so on point, the water elder. The next question is, what is the correct order of the end of days or rapture? Because the Christian church has taught lies.
I'll have to go over a whole class on that. And I did go over a whole class on that. Maybe we can find it and put it on this channel. I'll get it. If you can go to, remember when we were doing Kazakh at ISBHBK? Check in there. It might be on there because I went over like from the beginning to the end, to judgment day, to the books being open. I went all the way through it, so it was a real good class. I'll have her look for it on there, and you can get all those scriptures in its entirety, and maybe we can get it over to you, and then we'll upload it on this channel. Because there is, but I hate going through stuff like that, just one or two scriptures and things like that. You have to take a whole class to go over that. So let me do that. Let me send it to you. All right, and then we'll go ahead and try to get it uploaded on here. And then if not, I'll just go over it all again. All right? Yeah.
I remember you had went through that on a question that I had asked about the hunters and the fishers.
Yeah.
And you're like you answered the question. You took a long time answering too. You went through all these different scriptures, and you was like, "This is the order of events."
Right. Yeah. It's a lot, but it's good when you get it all in its entirety instead of just like a few scriptures here and there. That's how I like to do it. I want to give you all the full ammo. You know, all these questions are good, and I always say that we just touch on things, but a lot of these questions, I'm sure, you know, if there was 2 other priests up here, we could be here all day on a question. Y'all seen that. We went 8 hours the other day for Sabbath class. So, you know, we're just touching it here and there, little scriptures here and there, and then certain times, certain questions will warrant just an onslaught of scriptures. And that topic, that's what you need. You don't just need 1 or 2. You need a whole full topic so you can have all the information. So she'll look for it up there. We'll see if we can get it up there for you. All right, what else?
That's all for questions.
Okay, so we're going to go into this class, if that's all for questions.
I had one.
Oh, you got one? Go ahead.
It's Psalm 87.
Go ahead. Go there. Psalms 87.
And I didn't really understand it.
Psalms 87. Let's go. 87 and 1.
Psalms chapter 87, verse 1.
Go ahead.
His foundation is in the holy mountains. The Lord loveth the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob.
Right, so he's telling you from the start out that when it says his foundations are in the holy mountains, then he comes back and tells us what he meant. The Lord loveth the gates of Zion. It don't mean that the Most High, you know, he's over there in the gates of the mountains. What it means is that he's with Zion. He loves his people, his nation. Right? We know right now the heathens possess our inheritance. But he loves Zion. Go ahead.
Glorious things are spoken of thee.
Right?
O city of the Most High.
Right, Israel. Our place, our land. Right? The people. Right? It tells you in Esdras that he has a favorite pit. It goes back to our people. He has a favorite mountain. It goes back to Israel, Mount Zion. He has a favorite flower. It goes back to Israel. He has a favorite bird. It goes back to Israel. His favorite flower is a lily. His favorite bird is a dove. And then he likens us to the dove. He likens us to the lily. So it all goes back to Israel being his favorite. Go ahead.
Verse 4. I will make mention of Rahab and Babylon to them that know me.
Go ahead.
Behold, Philistia and Tyre with Ethiopia, this man was born there.
Right. What man? Where were we born? Where did Israel come out of? Mesopotamia. You understand? Where was Abraham in? Sumeria. Right? That's why when the Most High clowned us, what did he say? Your father was a Hittite. Right? Or your mother was a Hittite. Which one does he say in Ezekiel 16? He said, you see that? He likens us to Africans. Not that we are Africans, but he was trying to show us your nativity. He said, your nativity is over here amongst Babylons and the Philistines and Tyre. You see that? So where do we come out of? Go ahead.
Verse 5. And of Zion it shall be said, this and that man was born in her.
Go ahead.
And the highest himself shall establish her.
Right. Israel. Right. Well, where did we come out of? We came out of Sumeria. Mesopotamia. That's where Abraham came out of. And the Most High chose him out of all those nations. Go ahead.
The Lord shall count when he writeth up the people that this man was born there.
Right.
Salah.
Go ahead.
As well the singers as the players on instruments shall be there.
Right. So, I mean, you get that?
Well, it was kind of confusing to me because, you know, I was reading down in the little notes.
Yeah.
And it was saying that, well, these were all enemies of, you know, Israel, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but he's counting them, and so are they being counted with Israel, or are they being counted for the Israelites that are in those countries? Is that what
It's always that. You know, think about it. It's never, what did the Most High say he's going to do to these nations? Go to Psalms, what is it? 83. So,
Psalms chapter 83.
Right.
Verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O Most High.
Right.
Hold not thou peace, and be not still, O Most High.
Yeah.
For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
Right.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
Mm-hmm.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right. Who though? Go ahead.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
Right.
They are confederate against thee.
Right.
The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre.
You see that? So those people, those nations that consulted against us, they're not with us. You see that?
Right.
So yeah, it's always our people. It is another scripture that'll throw a lot of people off. He says, my people in Egypt. Right? But he's not saying Egyptians. He's saying my people in Egypt. You see that? So, you know, even if your thought process is going there, it's still Israel scattered amongst these nations. Right?
And so the person, I mean, the name Rahab, that's referring to a place or a person?
Let's look it up. No, Rahab, well, it's referring to both, but it depends on what context. Let's see here. 87, right? Yeah, let's go with the Hebrew. Hold on 1 second. Right, so Rahab and Ephrathite of Egypt. So let's see here. Right, it's talking about Egypt. That's what it's saying. When you even look it up in the Strongs, it tells you Rahab, basically this is Egypt. Yeah. So it's naming them amongst these other nations.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. Calm.
Spirit had me reading it because I've been reading, you know,
Psalms.
in the mornings, you know, just, and he had me read that, Spirit did, and I'm like, why am I reading it? You know?
Right. Yeah. But remember, our Israel is still amongst these nations, right? when you go back to Isaiah 11:11, what did he say? He's going to bring us out of where? Babylon. He's going to bring us out of Egypt, right? He's going to bring us out of these lands. All right? Was that you comprehend that?
Yeah, I get it. I'm thinking like,
why?
well, because we are scattered all over, you know, and we don't always recognize who we are. You
Right.
know? But he does.
Right.
I does, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't figure out what I needed to get out of that when I read it. That was all.
Well, all he's saying here is that the Most High is with Israel. And where glorious things shall be spoken of thee, O city of the Most High, Israel, right? The people, you know. But then he comes back and forth, I will make mention of Rahab. Now, why I got to make mention of Rahab? Where is Israel at? They're in Egypt. They're in Babylon, right? Right? And once again, we came out of this place. So you got to see it. That's you can only define the scriptures with the scriptures. You see that?
Yeah, because the notes kind of threw me off.
Yeah, that's why I tell people, do not go with the what you call it? Commentaries. You got to watch. Some of the commentaries be on point,
Right.
but you got to know your Bible, because if not, you know, yeah, I'll read over a commentary here, two and there, but you can't let that formulate understanding, because the understanding got to go through the precepts.
Right.
So when, you know, even in this instance, you know, if I read in this commentary, I don't know, the commentary I got, it just says the cities or citizens of these places.
Yeah, this says that they are being granted citizenship into God's city and given privileges associated with birthright.
But hell no. But we know, but see, that's good though, because this is a perfect timing why I tell all the young brothers and sisters, don't read commentaries, because we know is that according to scriptures. No, because he said he will stump the residue of the nations. He's going to destroy the nations. He's going to bring them back to the, he said Jehoshaphat, and he's going to war with them. Then you go through all those precepts, Isaiah 14, Isaiah 60, Isaiah 34, and it goes through all these nations. He says, where is it? What thou has to do with me, O Tyree? Micah? Go to Micah real quick. Dang, it's Micah. Jeez. We always pull it too. And it's in Micah. Yeah, let's see here. Is it Micah?
Joel.
Joel? All right.
Yeah, I read it last week.
Yeah.
Show the difference between, the slavery. That we're not African.
Right, but where is that? It says
3 and 4.
Yep. Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Joel chapter 3, verse 4. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense?
Right.
And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head.
Do you see that? So he's saying, you're going to give me back what you took? He said, when you try to, I'm going to recompense you for what you did. So this is Tyre and Zidon, those cities that we're talking about. You know, they're not going to get away with it. Why? Read on. It tells us. And that's why I jumped over to that Psalms 83, because it gives you the list of the nations that were confederate against us. Yeah. But read the next verse, verse 5.
Verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things.
Uh-huh.
The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians.
Yeah, so what was the repercussions for them doing this to the sons of God? Punishment and payback. You see that? So that's why you gotta understand the repercussions of these nations doing what they did. Yeah, but when you read from verse 1 all the way down. So, all right. I mean, you get it now, right, sis? Sis, you need to read this whole chapter. Because it goes into Tyre, Sidon, it goes into Egypt. Just read all the way down. Joel 3, the whole chapter.
Okay.
All right. So, if that's it on questions, there is? Okay, what we got?
It says, with the sisters from Kai's question, it says,
Yeah.
how would you tell they are Israel when they grew up with that nation's culture? And since it's been years and they look like that nation, that was his question. How would you tell they are Israel they grew up with that nation's culture?
Well, see, and here's the thing that we're going to understand, and Israelites got to understand. You're not going to be able to tell everyone. That's the whole point. The point is that if you don't read the scriptures and know that they're there, that are people amongst these nations, then you're going to judge by sight and not true judgment. Now, you can ask. A lot of people, you can ask, hey, what's your parent? A lot of these people in these countries know that they're Israelites, especially in the Middle East. They can grow up in Egypt, in Iran, in Assyria, in Syria. They can grow up in all these different places, and guess what? It doesn't matter. They still know my ancestry comes from Abraham. My ancestry comes from Terah. They'll tell you, my people come from this land. No, I'm not Egyptian. I'm a Hebrew. They'll tell you that. So you can ask. But most of all, we got to do like Yahushua. We got to stop thinking that we can judge everything by sight. Isaiah 11:1 said Yahushua, Christ, will not judge by sight. You're not just going to be able to look at somebody and be like, 50-50, right? Like, you're not going to be able to do that. You either ask, right? And then sometimes when you ask and they don't know, how are these people going to be taught? How are all these Israelites and all these other lands going to be taught if we keep judging by sight? It ain't going to happen like that all the time. Over here in America, we get it, right? Because you go with the history, you go with Deuteronomy 28, right? You're like, okay, our people, you know the ones that came on the cargo slave ships. You're like, okay, we get those people. You got the ones of 9.5. You're like, there's history on them that go verbatim on how they dress, their culture, their language, their counsel, everything, their wives. This book I got will tell you that they follow the women. They would go 7 days and go live in another house. Gad. That they would not come back. When they would come back, they would clean and wash everything, because that was their culture. See, you can't deny the culture and the customs of the people. So, yeah, we got that information, but certain information, and like I always say, how about if somebody comes to you and says, hey, I don't know my father and my mother? So we gotta think outside of the box and understand it. And I can say that because when I first traveled to Colorado from Albuquerque, when I went to Colorado, there was too many white folks with black folks over there. So, I'm fresh. I'm 22 at the time. I'm fresh coming from Albuquerque. By the way, coming from New York. Right? When I got to Colorado, you know what I was on? I was the white man's the devil, but I wasn't speaking to nobody. Why? Because his grandma was Esau, mom was Esau. Families were so much integrated with the white man. If you approached them, you couldn't even get in a conversation, because they're like, whoa, devil. They're like pitchfork and horns, and they're like, you couldn't even talk. So we had to change the way we delivered. I wouldn't say that. We would go and say, this kingdom, America. We say point out the white man, but we would leave things alone that were gonna not get them to even stop. But after a time, you see, just communicating on that level, brothers will talk. So yeah, we have to understand that when we go into these different countries, there's gonna be men that go into these different countries, man, that are gonna know how to deal with people. You think everybody's gonna deal with people like they do on 42nd and 8th? You know what I mean? Like in Manhattan? Like you go over there and you're like, you stinky Africans, you smell! But you're going to Africa to teach your people out there. Right? You're not going to approach everybody like that. That's just a simple fact. You're going to Egypt. You might go fly to Egypt for a trip to check out the pyramids and things of that nature. You're not going to be going over there like, yeah, you stinky Egyptians, you're nothing. The Most High, you're not going to do that. So we try to warn all you brothers and sisters, street speaking is street speaking. That's not the reality of every city. What I realize is that I lived and was raised in New York and California. But when I got to Albuquerque, you don't approach the people the same way that you do like you did in California and New York. Then when I got from Albuquerque to New York to California and went to Colorado, you realize you can't approach them like you did in those states. It's different people. Now, how much more when we get to these other countries? You're absolutely right. You're not going to be able to always define them by just looking at them. You're going to have to sit, have conversations. You're going to have to be civil, priestly, like Abraham was, like Joseph was, like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was, and then you're going to have to talk to them. And a lot of times, still, even after that, they're going to bear witness to the truth. They're going to say, you know what? Dang. Yeah. But I don't know my father and my mother, or you know what? My family, we were talking about this. Our ancestors know about this, but I'm not sure. What are you going to say? Well, you got to be sure. Brothers and sisters don't live in reality. They think they're going to approach everything like a street speaking in 42nd and 8th. It don't work like that. That's why scriptures tell you about travel brings much experience. You got brothers going over there to eat India. Brothers going to India, and there's Israelites in India, right? You got the scriptures tell you that we're in the land of Sinim. There's a lot of people in China and Japan that are Israelites. You know what I mean? Go to YouTube, type in black people in China. They look Chinese, speak Chinese, but they're dark, a little darker. But what about the light-skinned ones? Do all the light-skinned ones just get cut the hell out? You can't be light-skinned no more? These are the things that Israel got to wake up to. Yeah.
Because isn't it sometimes already in your spirit that, like if, for me, I'll just say me, when I lived in Colorado, I would see the, quote, Jews walking around the lake and all the black and, locks and all that. And I always wondered about them. And when I wanted to know about them, next thing I know, I'm sitting up in this place.
Right.
Okay? Because what he was showing me is that you're the real ones, Yeah,
there was a church in Colorado that was teaching the people they were Israelites.
Really?
Yeah. I forgot where it was. They were teaching them that they were Israelites, but they were teaching that the white man was a Jew. Yeah, that's how the church was. It was teaching that the 9.5 were Israelites, but they were the Jews. Yeah, ask Sahalom. They were teaching that in Colorado. So, it's getting out. The word is getting out. And, the thing is, the white man don't want to be a liar. He don't want to be found being a liar. He wants to stick. He wants to be part so much that it's hard for him to speak the truth. So, but go to Isaiah 11:1, just on that. Just on that point of not judging by sight. Every situation ain't going to turn out like this. And y'all talking to brothers that understand that. If you look around and you look in just right now in our society and look at how many people you think is Israelites, they might not be. You think is not Israelites, they might be. But if you judge by sight, you're not going to see that. Go ahead, read that.
Isaiah chapter 11 and verse 1.
And
there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse.
Go ahead.
And a branch shall grow out of his root.
Right.
And the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him.
Right.
The Spirit of wisdom and understanding.
Right.
The Spirit of counsel and might.
You see that? The Spirit of counsel and might. Yahushua, when the Holy Spirit's on us, these are the things that's supposed to be with us. The Spirit of counsel, the Spirit of might. Go ahead.
The Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord.
The Spirit of knowledge and the fear of the Lord. So we got to have the knowledge down. We got to have the fear of the Most High. All that knowledge gives us good counsel, gives us strength. Go ahead.
And shall make him of quick understanding.
No. He's slow thinking.
Quick understanding.
See, it goes right with Wisdom of Solomon 7:22. See, the spirit of wisdom is manifold, right? And then it goes down through all these different characteristics. So you got to have the knowledge. Go ahead.
In the fear of the Lord.
And the what?
In the fear of the Lord.
Counsel, might, fear the Lord. Go ahead.
And he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes.
Y'all see that? He wasn't going to judge by the sight of his eyes. Go ahead.
Neither reprove after the hearing of his ears.
Why? Because Yahushua was going to judge according to the Spirit. He was going to judge deeper. Right? Obviously, he has to hear. He's got to hear what you say. He wasn't just reading your mind. He was listening to what you were saying, but he was also looking deeper. So, we as Israelites got to step it up to the level to understand that if all of our people are going to be taught, then we're going to be going to these other nations and doing like Paul said. He says, being scattered amongst the Gentiles, but teaching Israel. We're going to be doing that. And you know what? What are they going to look like? He's perfectly right. They're going to look like what?
Gentiles.
They might look like Gentiles. What you going to say? No, you're not Israelite? You can't come in? And they tell you, no, my family, we know we're the tribe of Judah. When you go out there to the Middle East and they tell you that, no, we're not Jews. We're from the tribe of Judah. What you gonna be like? No, you look too Arabic. You look like this. You look like that. Nah, you gonna be like, Khan. Let's do it. Let's get taught, right? That's how it is. Brothers in America, they're oblivious to that because they don't travel. So they think everybody is gonna look like the modern day Judite. You understand? I got this picture of these Issacharites. These Issacharites, and you would imagine how they look. They're dark as hell, right? With big ass noses. With real big noses, right? But they don't look like that no more. You see that? But they're still Israelites. You know, just like you don't look like how you used to look. You see, you got a lot of features. We adopted a lot of features from our slave masters and mixing with these other nations. See, but everybody in America still think, no, I'm a pure. No, you're not. There's a lot of mixture amongst you. A lot of y'all How many of y'all got Native Americans in your family? Right? But a lot of you think you're Jews. And you might be Gadites, you might be Issacharites, you might be serious. So those are things we don't consider. You're thinking everybody with dark skin, big noses is a Judite. Why? Because you're judging by sight. So it's just, all these things, obviously, that when Christ comes back, he said he's going to gather all nations together and separate them one from another. He's going to separate the sheep from the goat. Right? Israel from the other nations. And listen, he said all Israel's not Israel. All Israel's not Israel. So there's going to be a lot of Hebrew Israelites that thinking they're Israelites in the last days. It's like, no, your father, the white man raped your father way back in the days, and then after he raped your father, father and mother, right? He raped your mother, great grand-granny, and then somehow that child that came forth got with a black person, so you got your color back, but that's how it is. So that's going to be all the tribes. All of them. So, yeah, for the most part, we go off the archaeology, we go off, you knowing what tribe you are, and you go off through spirit. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. Right?
Because I remember having a friend back in the church. We used to sing in a band together and stuff. Her and her husband are probably the same shade of brown as I am.
Yeah.
But they had these white-looking babies. Okay?
Wow.
To the point where the husband said, "Did you hook up with the mailman or something?" But they were white-looking babies.
Wow.
And so, where in the world did that come from?
You can't put it back. A black man can have white babies.
Yeah.
But a white man can't have black babies. I've never seen it. It don't work like that. You know what I mean? Because the white man Esau comes from Jacob. So, yeah. All right. What else we got?
Next question is, priest, when did the teaching of Israel first start in the United States, and who were the brothers teaching?
Well, a lot of that information is online now. And I know there's a lot of disinformation, but it started with Rabbi Bivens, from what we know. Rabbi Bivens, and then Rabbi Bivens taught not one brother, but many brothers. When you conversate about Rabbi Bivens, they say that Farrakhan was Farrakhan's father. Yeah, like some of those Muslim cats he taught. So he was supposedly had taught a lot of people. He taught a sect of Israel. He taught a sect of another sect of Israel, the Commandment keepers. So it went out, and he taught a lot of people. So that's how it started. Now that's before my time. You know what I mean? Way before my time. But that's the history I was told from my father, from my elders. And then one of the elders of our school that was taught was Ya'ikwa. Ya'ikwa taught his son, which was Ariah. So Ya'ikwa's dead now, but yeah, he taught Ariah. So, and then Ariah, and then they were teaching in New York, and all that was in New York. So a lot of cats out there that were taught were probably by Rabbi Bivens. So, yeah.
I remember reading about there was this group of Hebrew Israelites, but it was way back in the day.
Yeah.
I think they were in Colorado. I might be mistaken, but I was in church when I read about it.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, they were standing on doing what y'all do, street
speak
stuff
to
and all that,
the black man is a Jew in America.
Right.
Yeah.
They were teaching that.
We got to remember, man, that who regardless, that the scriptures say, go to Malachi. This is what we got to understand. This is how I comprehend all that. It don't matter. It don't matter whether it was Rabbi Bivens. It don't matter who was before him. Listen, they say Nat Turner knew he was an Israelite. So there's a lot of, when you go back, let's go back to slavery. Like, who taught who? Who taught Rabbi Bivens? Who taught, you see what I'm saying? So when you get into all that, it's like, it kind of really, yeah, we're learning about that, but what's the point? Like, we know right now the truth is because the facts and the evidence match up. And that's what brothers and sisters got to understand, is that all the confusion is going to stop when you study and you match the evidence up. You know, because now they're coming out and saying REI came up with the tribes chart. You know what I mean? Yeah, they came up with certain other tribes. They got the information and the edification, yes. But it doesn't matter. What's the facts and what's the truth? Does it line up with the Bible? You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, of course, all these, listen, how did they find out the Jews were the black man in America? History, right? Yeah, I keep saying it. Whatever brother was coming back, because we can go back before Bivens and say, well, yeah, Bivens said the Jews were black in America. Well, the white man is saying, nah, the Jews aren't the black people. Does that make them right?
No.
But they can argue with you.
No.
Just like brothers are arguing about the tribes.
No.
Oh, well, the brother came up with that. Well, who told you the Jews were black? A brother that came up with that. But how did he come up with it? From the air? Like, did he just say, Jews are black? Which ones? Let me see. You guys, you're the Jews, because I want you to be. The information brought it out. You see why I simplify it like that? Because people try to, you go online now, it's like, well, brothers came up with this, brothers came up with that, brothers came up with it, a man came up with and brought it all out. So what man do you want to start from? Right? That came out and told the lie. Because according to the white man, we're what? Yeah, we're Africans. You ain't the Jew, right? According to what they teach, right? So are they right or not? Because we can argue the guy before Bivens. And I'm not saying this is an argument with this, or the brother, whoever asked. I'm just saying that we got to look further to understand that, when we talk about this subject, about Bivens, about REI, Ya'ikwa, when we talk about the commandment keepers and all this stuff, what's the facts? What's the truth? The truth ain't the truth because REI taught me. The truth ain't the truth because I taught you. The truth is the truth. When you go into the Bible, you just haven't realized it was there. That Christ's feet was bronze and they were black. Put 2 and 2 together. Wait a minute. If Christ was black, Solomon was black, David was black, now you got something working bigger than just he made that up. You see that? It's something more grand than that. So, but yeah, going back to the question, that's all I know. I know that Bivens, right? No, that's who you got up there now is Masha. The one you put up was Masha. Masha was one of the 7. You got but really Ya'ikwa. See, what happened was Ya'ikwa got taught by Bivens, and then he taught REI. REI's a kid. He was a kid at this time. You're talking about back in the what? 60s? Right? REI's at least 70-something. He's at least 70-something now. Right? But you're talking about, that picture you put up was Masha on there. Yeah, Masha was one of the 7. everybody else was, the fact is everybody else was taught by Yahweh, right? So, and then they came up with the 7 heads in New York, and that's where it was predominantly taught. When the 7 got the truth, that's how the truth spread. And in the 70s, 80s, and the 90s, the commandment keepers were still teaching, but do y'all know about commandment teachers?
They were just Old Testament.
Yeah, they were just Old Testament cats. But listen, I'm saying this. Do y'all know about them?
No,
You know about them now.
No,
but
not before. No.
Not before, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, you never knew or heard. Why? Because predominant work got done by the brothers that were taught in New York, which we know as New York or the original ISUPK. Not the ISUPK now, but the original ISUPK. Right? So yeah. What's up?
So no, I was just thinking, is this along with the remnant that the Most High has from, it says in there that he'll have a remnant.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, if there's no remnant, we wouldn't be even hearing all this stuff. So there had to be somebody for me.
Oh, I'm going to show you what it was, because this is really what it comes back down to. Read that. Malachi, where you at?
3.
Yeah, Malachi 3 and what?
1.
No, 5.
Malachi
4 and 5.
Malachi chapter 3, verse 4.
Uh-huh.
Then shall the offering of Judah.
Malachi 4, verse 5.
4 verse 5.
Sorry.
4 verse 5.
Go ahead.
Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet
Uh-huh.
before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord.
Go ahead.
And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to children.
Right, so let's not get it twisted. How did you find out you was a true Jew? How did you find out who the Israelites are? Elijah. That somebody, whoever Bivens or whoever was taught, knew before Bivens and taught Bivens, whoever was in slavery that kept it going down, somewhere along that line, we would not know who we are unless Elijah came before that great and dreadful day and start turning. Watch, it's going to tell us.
And the heart, read 6 again.
Verse 6, he shall turn.
And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children.
Right.
And the heart of the children to their fathers.
Right.
Lest I come and smite the earth with a curse.
Yeah. You see that? So the snowball of finding out who you are and your identity, your nationality, for your heart to be turned to your fathers and for you to say, wait a minute, I'm not African American, I'm not Mexican, I'm not Puerto Rican, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Elijah had to come. That's what I'm looking at. So, or else, if this wouldn't happen, you'd be walking around calling yourself what? Afro-American, Hispanic. That's the fact of it. So you got to keep that in mind, that the Most High was doing a work to get us to get this knowledge, and whatever elders we have, they were doing the work and finishing that and doing it. So if you want to question the work, if you want to question the truth, how do you question the truth? How?
History.
Study. You got to study to show thyself approved. So how do you know it's the truth? That's why I simplify it for y'all. To know the black man is the Jew, what did you do? Did you just go to the Bible, Jeremiah 14:2? What did you have to do?
Study.
You had to link history with the Bible. You had to know who went on cargo slave ships, right? So you had to know, you had to be able to separate Shem, Ham, and Japheth and know that we're not Hamitic. See, all that was done. So the facts are there. You know what I mean? You just got to go through and study. So I know I answered your question a little earlier, but I wanted to just go into that too, because I've been on, Facebook here and there, and you got people they'd throw up their little gas memes talking about brothers came up with Hebrew, which is idiotic, or that the 12 tribe chart is wrong, which is, bruh, wait till I start coming out with this class on the tribe of just the 9.5 tribes. There's so much information. I'll put it like this. There's more information about the 9.5 tribes being Israel than the tribe of Judah. There's more information about the 9.5 being children of Israel than Judah. That's how much information I got. And I'm going to try to consolidate this, though. I'm not going to. But that's how that. Yeah, because the Most High did make it easy. He did make it easy. You shall go into ships again. You should go into captivity again with ships. The Most High knew what He was doing. That's the easiest. Bam. Who went and conquered slave ships? Who was sold on auction blocks? Easy, right? But there's a lot more information on the tribes, the customs, what we spoke, the information. So, you know, we're going to get into all that, man. We're going to get into all these things. Okay, so, all right. All right, what other question we got? I got a text. I was just making sure it wasn't on class. What we got here?
She just came back and said, I wanted to know about the street teaching when it started, that's all.
Yeah, street teaching, that started way back. That started in the 60s. You know, back when they were on crates. You know, when they were on crates, and it was more rough back then. But there's some old school. I got a lot of old videos back in the 90s and back before that. I wanted to do a YouTube on. But there is, on Daily Motion, there's some old videos. You might be able to hunt YouTube, go through YouTube and see. There is some old videos and of the elders teaching way back. So yeah, it started a long time ago. You know, in the 60s, maybe before that. All right, yeah.
That's when I looked at it and I saw it on YouTube. And if you go to like Nehemiah chapter 8 verse 4, it says Ezra, the scribes, stood upon a pulpit of wood and he was
right.
And nothing new.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you wanted to find it like that, you could go. What is it?
Nehemiah chapter 8 verse 4.
Right. So yeah, even ancient days, we was out there in the plaza, teaching, yelling at Israel, telling them to get their spirit right. You know. So, what else we got?
Where is the speckled bird scripture?
Speckled bird is Jeremiah. Yeah. Wow.
12 and 9.
Is it 12 and 9?
Yes.
Yep.
Jeremiah 12 and 9 says. That's Jeremiah 12 and 9. All right, what else we got?
Says Shalom from Tennessee. Deuteronomy 23 and 7 through 8. Can you explain this, please, for our brethren who think Edom is our people?
Go to Deuteronomy 23.
Done.
Deuteronomy 23, 7 and 8.
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 7.
You're in Texas, brother. Where's your accent?
Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 7.
There you go. Right.
Thou shalt not abhor an Edomite,
Mm-hmm.
for he is thy brother. Thou shalt not abhor an Egyptian, because thou wast a stranger in his land.
So what's the question? Or the statement?
Can you explain this, please, for our brethren who think Edom is our people?
Oh, yeah, that's not saying Esau as of right now, as our as part of the nation of Israel. That's not saying that they're part of the nation of Israel, because we obviously know that Esau They're their own nation. So, but this is just showing you that they are your brother. They're your brother. They came from the same wound as you, but the Most High said they were going to be a separate nation. So, yeah, we go to Deuteronomy 25. Deuteronomy 25, and we're going to read 25.
You mean Genesis 25?
I mean Genesis 25, brother.
Genesis chapter 25 and verse 25.
Genesis 25 and 25 out of the great book of our Lord. Read that.
Genesis chapter 25 and verse 25.
Wait, wait a minute. All right. No, go up to 19.
Verse 19.
No, start. I'm trying to jump straight to the point. 21.
Verse 21.
Yeah.
And Isaac entreated of the Lord for his wife.
Go ahead.
Because she was barren.
Right. So remember, Rebecca could not have a child, right? So they went to the Most High. What do you do when you're barren? You can't do nothing. You got to go to pray to the Most High and ask Him to bless your womb. Go ahead.
And the Lord was entreated of him.
So the Lord listened. The Lord heard him. Go ahead.
And Rebecca, his wife, conceived.
Right. So the Most High blessed her womb. Go ahead.
And the children struggled together within her.
Right.
And she said, if it be so.
If I'm blessed, go ahead.
Why am I thus?
Why is the children struggling and fighting in my belly? Why is this battle going on? Go ahead.
And she went to inquire of the Lord.
Right.
And the Lord said unto her.
Go ahead.
Two nations.
Two what?
Two nations.
So, yeah, Esau is our brother, but here it's showing us that Esau is a separate nations. He came from the same womb, but the Spirit, the Most High, divided us as two different nations. So, I don't know if they thinking Esau, if they're, I'm not sure what you said they were trying to use this in whatever context. Yeah, we are brothers, but that he's our evil twin. Okay, he's the villain. He's the villain in the family that the Most High separated us from. Go ahead.
Two nations are in thy womb.
Two nations. Go ahead.
And two manner.
Two what?
Two manner.
We looked this up the other day. Two manner. Two different people. Right? The way you walk, talk, act, dress. The spirit in you is different. So, and I'm hoping I'm answering this statement / question that, because it says abhor not an Edomite, that doesn't mean we're the same nation. No, it just means that he just said he don't want us to be motivated by hate, and our whole mission is to hate Esau. Okay? Esau, we know who he is. We know what he was created for. But Deuteronomy is just reminding us we don't supposed to go around hating him. We don't supposed to try to get up bats and go kill them and shoot them and make this war. We supposed to be right now worried about our spirit and gathering our nation together. So Genesis 25:25 defines it and lets us know plainly that he's a different nation. He's a different manner of people. 23 and 20, yeah, 25, 23. So it should be no confusion with that. They're a different nation. Okay, so I'm hoping that answers the question. I mean, I sometimes this is no brainer to me, but if I'm not answering it in depth enough, just tell me, because sometimes it's easy as that for me. Is that the scripture said they're two different manner of people? Then they're two different manner of people. They're a different nation. They're a different nation. Deuteronomy is just telling you not to be motivated off of your hate. You know, when it says, as is written, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated, God hates Esau. He's telling you, you don't be motivated by this hate, because we'll go around trying to kill, trying to take over, trying to destroy Esau physically. The Most High put him here. He put him here because our disobedience. Okay? What's up?
She used to talk to me about.
Oh, okay. All right, what up?
There's just a comment. I learned I was a Hebrew from the Howard Stern show when he brought up two Israelite brothers on his show.
Wow. Wow, ain't that a trip? That had to be long ago. And was that recent?
No, that's an old video. I've seen it.
Yeah, that. Oh, yeah, the old video.
I've seen that too.
Yeah, that had to be an old video. Oh, they're saying they watched that recently. Yeah, the truth is given out. The word is given out.
There was one on Montel, I think.
Yeah, Montel Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What else we got on there?
No more questions.
Okay. Well, listen, it's 9:30. I'm not going to go into any class. If y'all don't got any more questions, we're going to conclude class. So I'll let y'all get in any last questions. Did y'all, Miss, you had any questions? No? Okay. Shay, you had any questions? No? Okay. I mean, unless we'll wait a few seconds for y'all brothers and sisters online. Good questions. I didn't think it was going to go into a question class again. You know, obviously, hey man, it's good that y'all got a lot of questions. You know, it's not a problem. But next class, we'll go over our class. You know, we got to get these topics out too. And they're good topics, man. They keep y'all engaged in y'all duty and y'all service. But I know a lot of these basic questions y'all got to get out of the way, get answered, so y'all can move forward whatever you're dealing with. So hopefully I was clear when I speakest, and I'm just procrastinating right now to see if anybody got any other questions. We'll wait a few seconds. Once again, I'm going to say this about the vow. We've been asking brothers and sisters that do want to help, see it in their heart to vow to help out the school with $100 a month for our rent. We're trying to do renovations and trying to change things up in our school. If you do want to help, please help. All right? Anything yet?
No, sir.
None? You had any questions? Yeah. We're going to conclude class. Nobody had any questions? I know it's early, but I'm not going to start on a 30-minute class. It's not. Nah. So nothing? All right, hold on. We'll wait a few seconds. There's still 20 people online, so somebody might pop up real quick. Nah? Okay. Salute them, everybody. Say shalom.
Shalom.
We'll see you Wednesday. All right? Yeah. All right. And while she's doing that, and Majah Wapanyahak Wadam, rise and face the east. I actually wanted to go to my class.